Welcome to Under Review, where we keep it real, raw, and authentic. And tonight, I am joined by one of my guests, Fabian Lyon. Hey, Fabian, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm here in South Florida, and I'd rather be nowhere else right now. So it's pretty good. How are you doing, Dinesh?
I'm doing amazing. How's the weather out there?
Well, it got considerably hotter with the firing of Brian Flores. So it was hot before, but let me tell you, this town is a fire right now with that firing. So,
Oh
so
my goodness. So let's jump into it. They fired Joe Judge too, so it got a little colder, I guess, for those Giants fans that care. But whatever, whatever. Let's jump into it. Black Monday. A lot
yeah,
of coaches got let go, but the big one was Brian Flores in Miami.
definitely.
Wait, time out. How rude am I? Before we even get into that, let's tell the people about you.
Oh, okay. Well, uh, as you said before, Dinesh, when you introduced me, my name is Fabian Lyon. I host a show called Game Changers with Fabian Lyon, and we cover social justice, we cover the arts, we cover sports as well. So, and you were kind enough to come on into one of our rooms the other day, and we're thankful for that. So that's the whole deal with me. I love sports. I love everything around sports, and thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you for having me in one of your clubhouse rooms. And where can the people find you?
You,
YouTube.
yes, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on IG, and we're also on Twitter.
I love it.
So,
I love it. And for everybody that missed that, his show is called The Game Changers. Love it. Love it. NFL, Rooney Rule, Brian
mm,
Flores, all of that good stuff. Let's talk about it. My guy got let go. Great coach, great people person. Shocker. Just shocked.
yeah, shocker. And you know, 24 and 25 the past 3 seasons, and 10 and 6 and 9 and 8 the past 2 seasons. And one record that really stands out for me, Dinesh, is he is 4-2 against Bill Belichick.
Yes.
So on that alone, nobody else has that mark against Bill Belichick.
Not at all. And given the team that he inherited, because when you
Right.
look back at it, his first year, he inherited a team that was set up to just blow up and fail. Fitzpatrick left, another key player left.
Mm-hmm.
The ship was sinking, but then they started winning towards the end of that season, right? Okay, they
Right.
were set up to get the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
They missed out on Justin Herbert. They missed out on Joe Burrow. Steve
Right.
Ross was dead set on Tua Tagovailoa, and you have some people who love Tua. You have some people who are more on the fence about Tua. Now, speculation and stories are coming out. It was more of an internal power struggle, it seems.
So it seems that's the reports down here. Him and the general manager Chris Greer and obviously Stephen Ross
Mm,
apparently, and that's the narrative now. Dinesh, it's so predictable. Not to take either side, but it's so
right.
predictable after franchises let go black coaches right away of what he was not doing right. And uh, these coaches don't even have an opportunity to really tell their side of the story in fear of not getting another shot at a head coaching position again. So they're in a box, and I think Flores fits right in that mold.
And I don't know the man personally, but I believe that narrative is BS. The story that they're painting that it was a power struggle from his point of view and he was not getting into it with Tua and all these altercations. I don't buy that. I believe it's BS because, like, to your point, they're painting a narrative. And of course, he's
Mm-hmm.
not going to say his piece. He's very professional. But again, that man winning record 2 years in a row, over 500. We can count and go through the amount of coaches that the Dolphins have had since what, 2009, I believe.
Right.
Steve Ross was all set on Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think, as of right now, Because when it's only his second year, maybe he proves us wrong and he can be that guy, but I don't see it. He still needs more developing to me. Deshaun Watson, you know he's going to play somewhere, right? He wanted to come to Miami because of Flores. So Stephen Ross, he wanted Deshaun Watson there, right? Now that's out the window, possibly, depending on how the Texans do things. So interesting. So what?
And I just want to point out, Danache, that they have won 19. The Dolphins have won 19 games their past 2 years. They have not done that since 2003.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they had not won as much as 19 games since the 2003 season. So I don't know, but
damn.
that's how bad they've been. Exactly.
I'm like, I always knew they were bad. They're in my division, but damn, that's insane. So you know, Jim Harbaugh coaches my team at Michigan. Oh, go blue. Michigan guy. Ross is a Michigan guy, but as of now, no interest in Jim Harbaugh. So
Allegedly.
Listen, Miami has had Nick Saban, 15-7, Cam Cameron, 1-5, Tony Sparano, 29-32, Joe Philbin, 24-28, Adam Gase, who we all know was a terrible coach,
horrible,
23-25. And Adam Gase, I believe, would have gotten an even longer run if people weren't in an uproar, because he was terrible. Terrible. But I don't know. Stephen Ross, losing record, 5 coaches since 2009, 1 playoff appearance and no playoff losses.
And now, Danache, we are left with only 2. Can you imagine only 2 black coaches in the NFL, which is past embarrassing? Obviously, David Culley with the Texans and Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. This is for a league with over 70% of its players black. There's no way to spin this. It's embarrassing.
So the Rooney Rule was established in 2003, and it was implemented after the firing of Tony Dungy, right?
Right.
And Dennis Green, who coached the Vikings. Dungy had a winning record. Dennis Green, I believe, had coached for 10 years before his first losing record, and they fired him. We've seen this throughout the NFL, quick to fire the coaches, but then it takes them a long time to get another head coaching job.
If at all. Jim Caldwell, 9-7 back-to-back years. And we know how bad Detroit has been since
Detroit
then.
Is terrible.
He has never been, to my knowledge, he's never even been offered an opportunity at another head coaching position.
And that was my fear for Todd Bowles when he inherited the Jets, right? The Jets are deplorable. Let's keep it real.
Right.
Even under Todd Bowles, the team wasn't, they weren't a good team, but that defense
was playing.
Yes. Okay?
Yes.
Now you have Robert Saleh, no disrespect to him. He was great as a DC for the Niners, but the Jets are a hot mess. So my fear was Todd Bowles would never get the opportunity, but I'm happy to hear his name in coaching, candidacy circles, and I keep doing quotation air marks because we always hear these names.
Right.
But where's the traction? Are these people even getting phone calls? Last year in 2020, they adjusted the Rooney Rule to give teams incentives to call coaches. That is so asinine to me.
That's crazy. That's craziness.
And now in this year, 2021, they revamped the Rooney Rule again. To now you have to interview 2 minority candidates.
Yeah. And still here we stand as of now, 2 black NFL head coaches. And to me, Danache, but this Rooney Rule has become a sham. I mean, it just seems like they might bring in these minority black candidates, but where's the incentive for change?
Right.
There has to be accountability. There has to be an incentive for change. And if not, the NFL is just going to continue to be this quote unquote kind of old boys network. Where's the, and here's another deal that some people might not realize is that these owners never really have to answer these hard questions. Many of these reporters that come into these locker rooms, they know there is certain questions that they just don't ask. If they do ask, they might not get a pass to come back in and for another opportunity. So
Right.
there's a wall formed around these owners whereby maybe some other sports there's better accessibility to them, but in the NFL, not so much. They can release a press release and pretty much call it a day, and that gets them off the hook.
And I love football. I love football. I love American football so much. But the NFL culture,
Mm-hmm.
it's embarrassing. We spoke about this offline. I think it is very embarrassing at
Right.
times. This is a perfect example of it. And like you said, where's the incentive? And part of me feels, and it's kind of discouraging,
Mm-hmm.
the good old boys clubs, they don't give a F. They don't care. Like I said, these billionaires, team owners, they're chilling. Some of them, we can name the Vikings owner, for example. He owns the team, but he's not involved with the day-to-day operations. He's not involved with his coaches. Ross is another example. Yeah, you're good in your real estate business, very successful, but when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to owning a franchise, you're not successful. This is not a toy. This is not an asset to have. You have to at least try to learn so you can make better decisions,
Right.
right? And NFL
Mm-hmm.
preaches about being inclusive in all these things, but we're not. We're not. So as a person, as a Todd Bowles, a Eric Bieniemy, a Byron Leftwich, do you
Mm-hmm.
even hold your breath that you're ever going to get that opportunity? Is very, very sad.
That's right, and a legit opportunity. So you're not just coming in and act like you're going to actually have that job as a real opportunity. So you don't even know, is it this a legit interview or is just some kind of
To fill the quota,
show?
right?
Yeah, just to fill a quota. And so I want to ask you a question though. It seems like when these black coaches are let go, it seems like the right away the franchises seem to put out this narrative and they have the fans mostly on their side. It's like you hardly ever hear the fan base kind of clamoring for their coaches. And I don't understand this phenomenon, I call it, because it seems like no matter how bad the franchise is, John Public is going to come, it seems, on the side of that bad franchise. And not
Right.
because they don't have an opportunity to hear the coaches what happened, then they're going to kind of take that side and kind of move on from there. At least that has been my experience.
Right, and I'm in agreement with you. I've been seeing that for Matt Nagy and looking at Bears fans reading their tweets and all these things. That I'm in agreement with you. They lean more towards ownership side. This firing with Brian Flores though might be the
Mm-hmm.
first time
Mm-hmm.
in my little 30 plus years of life that I've seen that I've seen fans react the way
Right.
they reacted, like, what are you doing? That I've seen players actually take to social media and like, what the F is going on?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I've seen it in his case. Articles coming out left and right. I don't maybe a shout out, a nod to the shift of the culture where people was like, whoa, Brian Flores fired. What is going on?
Mm-hmm.
That incident may be the only one, but just a little bit, maybe like
Just a little bit.
1%, just a
Yeah,
little bit.
just a little bit. But the local media down here is, for the most part, is spinning it, through the eyes of the owner and the general manager, as far
Not
as
cool.
um, Flores' inability supposedly to get along with his quarterback,
He's a
his
player's
GM.
coach.
Yeah,
Okay, he's a player's
right.
coach. There's no
Yes,
secret about that. So they can nip that in the bud. He's definitely a player's coach. Anybody that knows him, from what we've heard, media
right.
reports, Shefty, everybody and their mama, he's a player's coach.
That's right.
A player's coach. Teams receive a list of 11 vetted head coaching candidates black head coaching candidates, minority head coaching candidates. You know, they get the list every year, and 20
Right.
minorities deserving of a GM position. Because when you and
Mm,
I spoke offline, we did speak about
mhm,
head coaches, but it also dawned on me, where are our GMs that are of color in the NFL?
mhm. Once again, probably in the same boat, and I don't know what it's going to take to kind of swing this momentum, Danache. I mean, you have assistant GMs that have really put in the time, the years, only to be passed over by white GMs for positions. The same thing with assistant uh, black coaches in the league who have put in their good time only to be passed over year and year again. So once again, I don't know what the NFL can do, but I just know that the Rooney Rule is a sham as of this point. It seemed to be working the first couple of years, but since then, there is no bite in this Rooney Rule at all, and they have to come up with something else.
Teams that can benefit, that need a GM, period, but they need a solid GM. The Giants,
Mm-hmm.
because Lord knows they're a hot mess. Even though they won
Right,
2 Super Bowls in 15 years, whatever. You know, Patriots fans, so I don't even want to talk about that. But even though they won, they know how to win, right? When you have the pieces
right.
in place, you have the Vikings who need a GM because they fired
Mm-hmm.
their GM. So I would say the Dolphins too, but Ross isn't letting go of Greer because he is a
No,
mess. He is a terrible GM. The things that the Dolphins have gone through, but again, Flores became that scapegoat, if I'm being honest, outside looking in and just watching the Dolphins organization. And yes, the GM made moves in this draft, but one move shouldn't save your entire career time over there. But
right,
some GM
right.
candidates: Marvin Allen, assistant GM
Mm-hmm.
in Miami; Brandon
Okay,
Brown, director of personnel in Philly; Jacqueline Davidson, sis, is over
mm,
there in Tampa Bay, and
okay.
she had hand in everything that was going on last year. Let's
Mm-hmm.
give the sister some shout out. Catherine Rage, I believe she's over at Philadelphia too, vice
Okay.
president of operations, and Louis Riddick, who hosts Monday Night Football.
Yes.
But every time I watch him, I'm like, he would make a great head coach. But I could one up that. I think he would be very fitting as a GM.
No, no doubt. Every time he opens his mouth, I learn something from him. He's a very
Every
sharp guy.
single time. Every
Yep.
single time. Let's throw out some black coaching candidates. We know Todd
Mm-hmm.
Bowles. We know Eric Bieniemy, who I feel is going to get talked about forever, but who the heck is going to pull the trigger on this guy? Who's even going to interview him? Byron Leftwich, Jim Caldwell, Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier on the Bills, I think would
Mm-hmm.
make an excellent head coach.
I agree.
You have Patrick Graham. He's fairly new, though, on the
Mm-hmm.
younger side. He's the Giants' defensive coordinator. You have Gerard Mayo, former
Mm-hmm.
linebacker for the New England Patriots. He's also on the defensive side of the ball, coaching under Bill
Mm-hmm.
Belichick. It was rumored that he was on the coaching circles last year, but I don't believe anybody called him. So that'll be interesting to see. Um, in the NFL circles, he's a very sharp guy, they said. Vance Joseph.
Vance Joseph, that was with the Broncos.
Yes. Even though his
Mm-hmm.
stint was short, but
It was
still,
short.
I'm not even being funny. On the top of my head, Marvin Lewis is probably the only black coach
Mm-hmm.
who has lasted forever, even when his team was trash. He's like the only anomaly, right?
He's an exception, no doubt. He,
Who?
and Dinesh, I want to
Oh,
maybe
love it.
speak on where are the advocates for these coaches? Okay, who
That
is in
part.
their corner when they probably don't have that ability to speak out? As I said, in fear maybe of landing another even an opportunity. But Tony Dungy, these great coaches that have coached in this game, great players that have played in this game. Why is there no? It seems that there's no solidarity, there's
Right.
no brotherhood, so to speak, and to say, hey, this is wrong. Why are we not giving opportunities to black coaches? We've
Right.
had some we watch this Hall of Fame ceremony every summer, and it's great. All the greats come back from 20, 30 years ago. They're sitting there in their gold jackets, and but you have to
Gotta
use that
chill.
power because you have had your path. Uh, uh, Somebody else came before you and made your path easier. You have an obligation now to do the same for others, and that's what they should be doing for these black coaches in the league, not getting an opportunity.
And Tony Dungy, Coach Dungy, is a great example because it happened to him. He lost his job
Right.
just for John Gruden to take over the
Mm-hmm.
next year
Right.
and win. But all of that
With
was
his
Dungy
players.
with Dungy's work. All
Right.
of that was Dungy's work, and that doesn't get talked about. It's all about what John Gruden did with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No, let's talk about what Tony Dungy did and how he got released, and John Gruden just boop. You go right into this puzzle piece. Everything is already set for you. Plug
Right.
and
Laid
play.
out for him. Laid out for him.
That is a great point. And I love Tony Dungy. I do. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I want to hold him more accountable. Like, coach, what's up? Herm
He has a
Edwards, like where are these? Where are you guys?
Yeah, where's your voice? Where's your voice? So we hear your voice when some players, black players have transgressions, but now with black coaches there, they need your support. They need to speak out. They need to say more. Point blank. Period. There's no excuses for it.
And Venus and Serena, as well as two other people, I believe, Gloria Stefan as well, are minority owners in the Miami Dolphins. But I wonder how much, if, and it's not to say these conversations aren't being had, I don't
Right.
know. But
Right.
I'm very curious as to how much say they have, input they have. Are they just there to be faces as opposed to having any real input in what's
Right.
going on? So that's interesting too.
Most definitely. That would be interesting to find out what, if anything, they're saying about this fire here. So we'll see.
And how much power do players actually do have, or former coaches, or do have when it comes to ownership?
Yeah, and speaking of, a couple Dolphin players did come out in support of Flores, uh, just voicing their disapproval, but not to the effect that one would expect, given
Right.
how he won 8 of his 9 last games. Okay, it's not like he lost 8 of his last 9 games. Granted, he started 1-7, but to have the character to bounce back, win 7 straight games, put them in playoff contention, and obviously they had that bad loss to Tennessee,
Right.
but that alone should not have been enough to fire this man.
Right. And I'm going to go back. His job is to coach. Your GM's job is to do everything else. Okay? He did that
Mm-hmm.
and he did that well. Given the pieces that he had, and everybody who watches football, or especially Miami Dolphins fans, they all know that offensive line is terrible, okay? They had like a
Horrible.
million coaches in 10 years. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
very clear here. You all these distractions with the Ross wants Deshaun Watson, and then you have a quarterback controversy with Tua Tagovailoa. He's not the best QB in the world. We know that. The eye test can show you that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But he still got it done with the pieces that he had. And that's it. That's all. I just hope that my guy gets another chance sooner than later because he freaking deserves it.
Yeah, whoever needs a coach should be jumping on him and should be scheduling an interview for him right away.
The
There's no
Bears.
reason why he. There you go. I mean, he should be a head coach somewhere next year, without a doubt.
The Bears, minus that O line, because that O line is terrible, but they have a good defense.
Right.
The kid from Ohio State, what is his name? Oh my gosh, Justin Fields is the QB over there.
You're right.
You have some playmakers. Listen,
They got some players now. They got some young players. They got
yeah,
some young players over there.
and I want to see these coaches in situations that I feel like sometimes they be like, "Oh yeah, you get the job, but put them in a situation to fail." No, thank you. Don't do that. Don't put them in a situation to fail. I think Jim
Right.
Caldwell would do fairly well in Jacksonville if they give him a call, give him an opportunity. Who else? The Vikings have a good defense. I don't know what's happening with Kirk Cousins, but they have playmakers. Justin Jefferson alone, Adam Thielen,
Yeah, they got a
Dalvin Cook.
special. Yeah,
So they have a group
they got
there.
some players. They got some players.
Get
You're right.
you some great GM, a good coach, the
And you're
team
good
is
to go.
already in place. You're good
Yep.
to go.
hmm
The Giants, I don't know. The Giants need all the help they could get. I'm sorry. They didn't take.
They might need a couple years before they're back there in contention. So we'll
Again,
see.
offensive line. I don't know why they haven't been drafting that position, but whatever. Offensive line, Daniel Jones is not it. I'm so sad, so sorry, Giants fans. And then they have a decision to make with what they're going to do with Saquon Barkley because believe he's coming on his 5th year
Right.
and he's been hurt.
Heard a lot.
So I don't know if I was a coaching candidate, if I would want to go to an organization like that because New York is a tough market, no matter what.
That's as tough as it gets.
No matter what. But the Mara family, great family, whatever they decide to do with GM and coaches, I know it wasn't in their plan to fire a coach every 2 years, but that's what's been happening. But the coach that they get, they have to be willing to commit to for a little bit because you're never going to see trajectory change if you don't stick to what's going on. You blew up the organization. The organization has been blown up, 4 times now in 4 years? We have to get some consistency going.
Yeah, you need time to establish not only an identity but a culture as well. And as you just said, 2 years in the NFL is no time at all. At least you need at least 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. 3 full years. 3 full years. Playoffs. Who's playing this week? Patriots, Bills on Saturday. Who else?
Who do you like in that one?
You know I'm a Patriots fan.
I know you're a Patriots fan.
I'm going. Whether we can't beat them, it don't matter.
Right.
I'm never going against them. Okay, the Patriots could be playing the Almighty. I'm going with the Patriots.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sorry, Jesus. I love you. Let them win. Yeah.
Putting God second. Okay.
But no, I'm going with the Patriots. It's supposed to be a cold weather game.
Right.
I'm just going with Bill Belichick, man.
You have to. I mean, no coach, I believe, in history does a better job of taking away what you do best. Point blank, period. Okay? You give him time to game plan in the playoffs, different than a regular season. He's really going to be keen with his assistant coaches, especially on the defensive end. I, too, like New England to pull it out on the road.
You do? Yay!
I do. Yeah,
I
do. I'm not going against Belichick, man. Ever.
Like, you do? Yay! And then it's so funny because Josh Allen has a better win record in Foxborough when he plays the Patriots than when he plays the Patriots.
Yeah, he's had some duds at home, which is crazy because you'd figure you're at home and you'd have the home field advantage, but for some reason he plays better on the road in that series.
Raiders, Bengals, who do you have?
Well, I'm a Raiders fan, so I'm just letting you know up front. And so I'm going to go with my heart, if not my mind, and I'm going to go with an upset right here.
Wow, I learn something new every day. You a Raiders fan?
Longtime Raiders fan, man.
Wow. So. Raiders fans are a little crazy. You don't give me that vibe. They're a little. You guys don't play when it comes to the Raiders.
Yeah, we're a little bit over the top, man.
You
so,
guys don't
but
play.
So I think we can pull out the upset.
Time out. Look who joined us. Hey.
Hey.
Jerry, how
What's
you
up?
doing?
I'm good. I'm all right.
All right. My boy came late, but he
My
here.
bad, yeah.
He here. High five. High five. He late, but he here. Jerry,
Yeah.
Fabian, Jerry.
How you doing, man?
How
What's
are
up,
you?
Jerry?
I'm good.
What's up, Jerry? How's it going, man?
Good.
You done missed it, boo. We done got.
Yeah.
Come on, let's bring it back. We're
Yeah.
talking Rooney Rule.
Okay.
We're talking black coaches or lack
Okay.
thereof in the NFL.
Okay.
We're talking Brian Flores.
Oh, him getting fired, right?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up? What's your thoughts? Talk to us. We here.
You know, I think it's everybody in the league knows like black coaches like you really got to be like a Mike Tomlin, right? Like in the sense of not
And I didn't
having
mean to roll my eyes, but
Nah, but you know what I mean? Like in the sense of being perfect, like not having no losing season
but
to
why?
really.
Why do black people have to? What's that old adage? We have to work twice as hard, be twice as good. Like,
You know,
why?
I'm gonna give you like my personal opinion on it, right? So I think a part of it is what you just alluded to, right? is we got to be twice as good to hold on to jobs. But I think there's another aspect to it. It's the league culture, which for the past, I would say I've probably seen this for the past 5 years, where I feel like in the NFL, most teams, there's a culture of how you want your coach to kind of act towards your players. And I think a lot of times they don't really like too many player coaches. You know what I mean? Where I look at, for example,
Bruce Arians is known to be a player's coach. That's why they severed ties with him when he was in Pittsburgh. He was too friendly.
And I think there's a certain image in the league you have to uphold as a black coach to really be seen by a lot of these organizations as reliable.
Why do we have to do that? That's what Fabian and I are trying to. Why? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to do that?
It's not right. I can't even answer that question. I mean, you have to ask some of these owners, but I think, it's a perception thing, and until we see more, and which kind of sucks, right? Where you have to see more black coaches kind of excelling.
We lost Fabian. Where my boy at?
I'm here.
Okay.
Just fixing this audit video here.
Okay,
So
he's here. All right, he's here.
So I think, you need more. Of course, that's the running thing, right? You need more coaches, more black coaches. But I think, when it comes down to it, there's a certain image that the league kind of wants. I feel like a black coach needs to be looked at. You got to be a hard-nosed coach. You got to be the ones
stereotypes. The good old boy club. And you said the word culture. Fabian is big on culture. We keep referencing culture. The good old boys club, that mindset needs to be blown up. It is terrible. Why do you have to have that type of mindset? And let's be real, Mike Tomlin is an excellent coach. Yeah. But my mans did not inherit a Steelers team that was trash, okay?
Facts.
Right.
Can we talk about that?
That's true. I can't even give you an answer. I just think it's fucked up in a way. I'm sorry, I don't know if
we be cursing on here.
So
I be cursing on here.
Because really, if you look in the league,
I love that.
you really need 2 or 3 years.
We got some DeLeon in your cup, black-owned liquor. We got some DeLeon in your cup.
So I feel like you need a good 2 or 3 years, right?
Fabian said the same thing.
Until, to me, the GMs, the higher ups, really have to evaluate you and say all right, where do we see you going for our franchise? How you as a coach, how will you carry us to where we want to go, right? Which most teams is the Super Bowl. But I think a lot of times that Rooney Rule, and it's another thing. I'm gonna tell you my.
Why is that even a thing?
And it's where certain organizations want to kind of we hired that one black dude for a year. We knew his team was buns and shit. He needed a Hail Mary just to bring them to being winning. But you know what? We tried it, and we want these type of coaches because we feel like this. And I think it comes down to that organization's culture, right? The GM and the owner, how they see their team, how they see their team winning a Super Bowl, right? Because everybody has a way they want to win. Most of the time, people will tell you, I just want to win. I think that's cat. Most GMs, especially dealing with the NFL and it being a whole organization, there's a way you have to win to bring your fans in. And I think a lot of times, certain black coaches just don't fit that bill.
How do we know? Do they give them a chance? Because listen, I just rattled off a handful of black coaching candidates, and that's not even the top of the list. There's a lot of capable, qualified, minority coaching candidates. His name escapes me. I want to say his last name is Gray, the assistant coach on the Green Bay Packers, who actually had to be the head coach this year when, what's the young boy name?
Had COVID or something?
Yes, had COVID. And he game planned his ass off. And he has been in the league for a long time. But obviously, unless you're a diehard Packers fan or you don't know his name, but he's not capable of being a coaching candidate. There are so many minority coaches in the league. We need, as much as we need black NFL coaches too, or minority coaches, there are a lot of capable minorities who can be successful GMs. Let's talk about it. We only have two owners. We only have two minority owners. One is a co-owner with her husband on the Bills. And the owner, I think he's Pakistan American, of the Jaguars.
So
that's.
Go ahead,
So
Fabian.
I have a question for both of you. Do you think that head coaches with promising black NFL assistants do enough? Let's talk about Andy Reid, for example. Okay, Eric Bieniemy should be the hottest head coaching, or at least one of the hottest head coaching candidates, considering how the Chiefs have run through the league the past 3 years. Okay. I believe, and we obviously were not privy to what phone calls are being made, but I don't know if I've heard enough from Andy Reid, for example, publicly in support of Eric. I just wanted y'all opinion on that.
No, I'm in agreement with you 100%. I haven't heard from Andy Reid at all when it comes to Eric Bieniemy. I've heard from everybody else, right? We hear from all the reporters in the industry, all the shows in the industry, but I haven't heard from Andy Reid. Whereas a Bruce Arians, for example, right? He picks up his coaches all day, all the time. And he says, I don't run shit, pardon my French. That offense is all Byron. I couldn't do anything without Byron. It's little nods to that, and that's true. And the same thing goes for, listen, I don't hear Bill Belichick out here saying things like, Gerard Mayo, that's my guy. Brian Flores, that's my guy. When they ask him, Bill is very stoic and very don't ask me shit. But but not to just outwardly say it.
Right.
That's a great point. That is a great freaking point.
That's a good point. I mean, I agree. And I would preface this to say, we don't know what these guys are saying behind closed doors, right? Because we know most likely GMs, probably in the beginning of the season, in the back of your mind, your head coach, if he don't hit a certain number, he's out of here. As a GM, you know that. So if you see your dude struggling throughout the year, most likely you're probably going to send some feelers out, right? So I think there's probably more going behind the scenes there that we know of, but just to answer your question, I think it is, most coaches should be like Bruce Arians, but then you're talking about more of a personality and coaching style, right? Where sometimes dudes, at the end of the day, me as Andy Reid, I'm trying to build a dynasty, right? I don't low-key want a dude who's really doing great for me on assistant coach going somewhere. I mean, personally, he probably would love it.
Sean McDermott, that's going to be his issue, because not only is Leslie, sorry to cut you off, not only he has two assistant coaches that are hot candidates right now to be head coaches, and if both of his guys leave, that organization is done up. Because not only do you have to be, say I'm a Byron Leftwich and I get a head coaching job, right? Black people, we have so much piled against us, right? Let's talk about that. Right. The expectation, the doubt, to your point, maybe the setup to fail already. But what about your staff? Because it's not just you. We always give Andy Reid the credit, Bruce Arians the credit, but they can't do shit without those guys under them. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real.
That's true. I see, it's, I think you got to look at it through just a straight, three perspectives, right? Through the straight sports aspect of looking at a coach who really can galvanize his guys and help his position, right? And help be a team, help be a better coach. But at the same time, me if I'm a leader and I built this coaching staff to cater to how I want to play the game of football, if I'm trying to chase two rings, I don't really like having my quarterback coach going to get on. Like, I personally, probably I would feel happy for the guy if I know him, I like him, but professionally, nah, bro. Like, I want you staying on my team so we can go for 2 rings. I don't want you going to another team, you know? Like, and I think you gotta...
Business is business.
You know?
But
like,
it sounds like slave mentality to me. I'm sorry, business is business.
But it's like...
Business is business, because who the hell is Nick Sirianni? Who the hell is that? And he gets a head coaching job in Philly? Can we talk about it?
Never heard of that. Never heard of him.
Exactly. Who the hell is that? Nobody knew who he was. We had ample now I'm getting excited now. The DeLeon kicking in. We had ample candidates last year, same shit.
Right.
And you get this guy, and okay, yeah, he did his thing, whatever. But who the hell are you, my man?
Yeah.
And I mean that with all due respect.
And, you know, I'm going to say this, like, that's going to hit him when he gets to that locker room, because it's going to be, and again, you know, I don't know the guy personally, so how he galvanizes his players will be another thing, but I know players on that team going to be thinking, like, who is this dude? Like, you're not the only person thinking that. Like, if I'm a player on one of these teams, like, and I don't really know you as a coach, like, and I don't really buy into what you want to do, how you ask that. And I think sometimes GMs don't really think about that. They just think about their vision, right? And they just feel like the players will fall in line, and that don't always happen, you know? And I don't think GMs and people in the front office really think about that. They just, it's like a lot of guys just have this vision, and they think, all right, this dude kind of fits this block. All right, he plays my system, right? He does a lot of air raid stuff or whatever. This guy can execute how we should play the game, right? And it really comes down to how the players take to you, right? A lot of the time, and do they buy into the system? And like, I remember one time, like, me and Elwood, we were talking about the Giants head coach, right?
They
George
suck.
Judge.
Boo.
But like, even before the season, no. This is when he first got hired. I swear to you, bro. Like, when I heard him talk on his press conference, I'm like, he not staying. Like, they not like.
Don't talk about former Patriots special teams Joe Judge, okay? He was.
But no, like how he was talking. You know,
it was yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, bro, if I'm a player, I'm not trying, like, bro, I'm gonna listen to you because I get paid to, but in reality, bro, like, what you saying right now, like, you know,
we want a real coach. We need a real coach.
Yeah, like, you know, so I don't know. I think, you know, it's a lot of NFL is just politics at the end of the day, and it's relationship it's business.
Relationships and business.
You know, and you put enough in one of these GM's ears, and they like you, and you say the right things on it. That's enough. Like, your history don't really mean. It's like, do I like you? I think a lot of times these GMs have it, and
ownership.
Yeah.
Ownership.
Yeah.
Ownership.
Yeah, but to have only 2 black NFL head coaches at this point, we can spin it every which way. You look at Jimmy Johnson; he had a coaching tree. His assistants left him year after year.
Yeah, sure.
Even Bill Seifert over in San Francisco.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think the coaches that are really care for you, they want you to go on and be your own man, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're not trying to hold on to you, just like your kids, pretty much. You want them to go out there and be their own woman, be their own man, so to speak. So I don't think they're really so tethered to an assistant coach staying because they've had a great year or they're won a Super Bowl.
I agree with you.
I think it's a thing from the ownership that we need to really get into, as far as it just feels like that distancing is greater than ever between ownership and black coaches. 10, 15 years ago was much better. And for some reason, I don't know if the social justice stuff from the past couple of years has affected the ownership in some kind of way, but something don't smell right to me.
Right. We are in the year 2022. The NFL has been around for a long time. Yep. And nothing, if I'm being real. When it comes, as it pertains to head coaches, and that's just a start. A general manager, we have what? one black general manager, if that.
Yeah.
If
I think
that,
two maybe. That might be two.
that's
I
an
think it might
issue.
be too, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an issue. That's an issue. So
70% of the players are black. Yeah, those numbers don't add up.
and just to be clear for the trolls out there, we're not saying hire people because they're black or they're a
No.
woman or they're gay or whatever. We're saying hire them because these people are qualified, and their
Exactly.
track record has shown it. Their track record has shown it. We only have an hour to talk, and I'm kind of upset because this topic is like, it's real life. We can talk about this forever, but the NFL playoffs are here, baby.
Mhm.
What teams do you guys have going? I'm picking the Patriots. Fabian rocking with the Patriots. We're going week by week basis to win the first game. Who you rocking with? Patriots or that other team?
The other team.
You better say the right thing or you got to get out.
Nah, I'll go with the Patriots on that one.
Okay. Raiders and Bengals.
Raiders or Bengals? I'm gonna go
In Cincinnati.
Bengals though. Like the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, like, and Joe Mixon. Like that's, to me, to see him turn it
T.
up this year.
Higgins.
Like,
I'm going with Bengals too. Fabian is a Raiders fan. I just
Oh, really?
learned it. Fabian, tell your people. Tell your players stop getting caught drinking and driving every week and somebody new. What's happening here?
It's crazy, man. It must be that Vegas thing out there. I don't
Vegas
know.
lifestyle. Bust Eagles playing with house money.
But I'm just glad that we're still in the playoffs despite John Gruden. That's all I care about.
oh yeah.
Listen,
That's all I
Yeah.
care about. So I'm good.
listen.
I'm good.
So
I'm gonna go with Fabian. Eagles, Bucks. Who you got?
I will never go against Tom Brady.
I don't think it's gonna be easy though. How
No,
everybody think
it's
it's
gonna be close,
Yeah.
but in the fourth quarter, I'm taking Tom Brady
Same
all
old,
day and
same old movie, right? We see that movie
That's
so
right.
many times.
It's an old movie, but it's still
Something.
still the movie.
So, all right, so I'm gonna say something. So I think Patriots, right? I mean, Bucks, but
You said it right.
because y'all know how Danache and John really know how I feel about Tom. Look, I respect them, man. You know,
You gotta get out. You got to go.
you know. But I'm gonna say this though. I think
Uh-huh.
AB did what he did low key because he knows like they ain't going nowhere this year. So they'll beat the Eagles, but I don't know if they really.
We gonna talk AV another time. We gonna talk AV another time. It is Tom Brady and them all day.
Okay.
Niners, Cowboys. I don't think a healthy Niners team. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody wants to see a healthy Niners team.
Niners and I mean, didn't Jimmy get? Is he going to get surgery?
It don't matter. He out there doing what Jimmy do. Win sometimes.
So like it's.
Win sometimes.
I would like if I just had to. I would say the Cowboys, but I don't know. They choke so much. I might. If I had to bet on it.
I'm
Yeah, I
going
can't.
Niners.
Yeah, I had to bet on the Niners. I don't know if I can really bet.
Who
on
you
the
have,
Cowboys,
Fabian?
though.
I got a Cowboys. As painful as it is to say that, man, my heart's hurting right now. But I'm gonna actually go with the Cowboys.
Steelers, Chiefs.
Mm.
I have the Chiefs. I don't know why. Like, why the Steelers even in the playoffs? No disrespect. Why didn't the Chargers just go for that? No, seriously,
Nah,
they're
look,
painful to watch.
Chargers. Nah, they.
I mean, we knew they would have been one and done, but why
Yeah.
the Steelers though?
You know, the Chiefs, they scare me. I don't know. If they don't get on and you like hold them off, you might I know, look, like it being Ben's last year.
That offense is horrendous to watch.
It's true.
It's painful. Downright boring. You wake up and then they magically win because the defense gets a stop. I don't know.
That's
What to
but
tell you.
to me, if they can't catch a break early. The Chiefs, I'm not so sold on them. Like,
I wasn't sold on the Chiefs all season, so bye. Who you got, Fabian? I'm like, bye.
Yeah, I think this gets ugly. So I'm going with the Chiefs.
The last one, Cardinals, Rams, Bow, Kyler Murray. What up, gang? Kyler Murray time.
you know, look, I would love to say because that's been my team since like the beginning of the year. I felt like Kyler Murray, how he's been playing, like Kyle Kingsbury, the coach, like they really got their air raid going. Like I would love to pick them. I don't know, Jalen Ramsey, bro. That man different, bro.
Can I just put a caveat out there? You know the Rams just signed Eric Weddle from retirement. So are they really like that on defense? And
Man.
Eric is a G, Hall of Famer. He's that guy. But when you gotta sign people out of retirement right before the playoffs,
Off the scrap heap, that's tough.
I don't know. Fabian, who do you have?
I'm gonna roll with Kyler. I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals for sure.
Even though I would say this, the Rams have won the last 9 out of 10 games versus Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be ready for the playoffs. They said already.
Yeah, but he was out for the season. Ben Roethlisberger is 3-4 in the wild card. Dallas is 5-2 all time against San Fran. So if you guys want to bet, those are little tidbits to help you make your mind on your ticket. On your ticket.
I'm calling Vegas after this.
You calling Vegas after that? Fabian, it was a pleasure having you. Everybody check Fabian out. You can follow him. He has his show, The Game Changers with Fabian Lyon, on YouTube. Fabian, give the people your handle so they can follow you.
Yeah, no doubt. Game Changers with Fabian Lyon. You can find us on IG, on YouTube, and also on Twitter. Thank you so much, Danache, for inviting me on. Had a great time, and you're always welcome on my show as well. So thank you so much.
Pleasure. You know we're gonna link up soon. And Jerry, thanks for showing up late. Black people ain't never on time, man. But this is my guy, man. I love you. See you soon. All right, guys. Later.
All right, y'all take care.
New women, old ways, never wifey's old bays, and they going both ways. Hot nights, cold days. I ain't fucking no strays. Me comfort, no way. I won't even bother if she.